Hey everybody, this is Clay the Average Gamer, bringing to you part 2 of a 2-part Demolition game by Durbin. This 2 rounds we're going on defense, or I would say we, like I'm actually playing. Durbin will be running on defense, and so we're going to do a little talk about the defensive style of gameplay. Durbin, welcome back, man. What's up?
What's going on, man? Yeah, like you said, I'm on defense, I'm trying to hold down the fort.
Literally, you're at the top of the fort right now.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess since we're talking about being on defense, the other one, I've noticed just watching the 2 gameplays that there's a big difference on how you play offense versus how you play defense.
Yeah.
And you mind kind of going into a little bit of the strategy behind your thoughts about your playing offense versus defense?
Well, basically, when you're on offense, you just kind of want to be as sneaky as possible to get past the defensive line. With Ghost or Ninja or whatever you can, just to try and get around the enemy team. And on defense, mainly all you do, I had a couple buddies watching the other couple routes that they had that they could take to our bomb sites, and I just kind of watched this area here, and it worked out pretty well for me.
Right. And a lot of people they may say that something like defending like this is camping.
Right.
And to me, this is more like you had mentioned, having more of a tactical placement.
Right.
So you mind going maybe in a little bit of detail on the difference, or your thoughts on the difference between tactical placement versus some camping?
For sure. Basically, if I was on the offensive team right now, I would hate myself because I'm not letting anybody through this little part of the map right here, honestly. And they're probably saying, "Oh man, screw that camper," But for me, I believe I'm just tactically placing myself on the map to get an advantageous position on the enemy team. That is a mouthful, but that's kind of the way. That's kind of the way I feel. And honestly, I mean, why would you want to sit in any other place when there is this much traffic?
Yeah. And
why would you?
And it's funny that you say that, because I mean, typically whenever I think of camping, I will think of somebody that's in a random building, laying down in a corner with their aim pulled up, just waiting for somebody to run in front of their gun.
Definitely.
And it's not they're not placed in an area that's full of traffic, full of people running by. So it's just a random kill if they ever actually end up having to get somebody. Whereas here, where their spawn's coming, and that's something I do want to talk about here in just a second, if you'll remind me if I forget. But the spawn points, but where their spawn is, where the enemy is spawning, and which routes they have to get to these different bomb sites.
Right. It all just comes with experience.
Yeah. And you said this is one of your favorite game types to play, and so I'm assuming that for me anyway, whenever I play a game type, team deathmatch, it'll frustrate me. It really does, because it never fails. I get shot in the back by the player I killed 2 seconds earlier, and they spawn him right behind me, and he runs up and shoots me, and it gets frustrating a lot of times with the spawn points with Domination or a lot of these tactical games. The spawn points are a little easier to read, or not even a little easier, a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, tell me a little bit about like the spawn points with Demo here.
Yeah, for Demolition, basically the spawn points do not move. I mean, you are going to spawn in the exact same spot. If you're on defense, you can literally be in the offensive team spawn and just knife them in the back as they spawn. You really can. And it is extremely difficult and frustrating, especially if you're playing a good or experienced team. Because a lot of people, they do like to party up, and they have their little clans and stuff like that. And Demolition, I believe, is the best playlist for XP whoring and whatnot. So it's a really popular playlist, especially among the more skillful players, I guess you could say.
Right. Now, something you had mentioned here was communication. Do you find yourself having a lot of communication between yourself and the other teammates?
Honestly, for Call of Duty, I really don't see a lot of communication unless I am partied up with my friends, then we will communicate. But for Call of Duty, people just kind of they just kind of go in and chill and just play. It's not really a competitive community, as far as I can tell. Because I mean, like I said, I used to be a big Halo guy, and Halo is very competitive. Let me tell you, So, uh, yeah, not really, not unless I'm partied up.
So, whenever you're making decisions based on what's going on with your team, how are you able to do that without the communication between your other teammates?
Honestly, like I said, I just try and place myself on the map to get uh, the most out of it.
So,
That's basically it.
so probably a little bit of experience helps.
Yeah, honestly, it is. I mean, if you play, Demolition on firing range like this a couple games, you're gonna understand the spawn and how it works. So, I'm just trying to cut off every angle I guess they can take to the bomb site, especially the back routes, which a lot of people like to take. Like right now, I'm just watching a back route.
Right. Um, and just out of curiosity, I mean, I see right now you're rocking the Galil with a silencer, and I'm sure one of the things that a lot of people, including myself, would like to know. I mean, I'm sure you can't go wrong with an assault rifle, but just kind of some ideas on some different guns to use that are good, and there may be different guns that are better suited for offense versus defense, or
For sure,
and some that are just good all around.
for sure. For offense, I've noticed a lot in Demolition. People like to rock the noob tubes a lot because I mean, honestly, that's about the only way that you can get through a defensive line. Sometimes, and it's so frustrating when you're one kill away from dogs and you get noob tube. But it happens. It happens a lot in Demolition. And for defense, honestly, you just have a good assault rifle with a decent rate of fire, and I like to have the silencer because I just like to show up unnoticed on the mini map for the enemy team, and an LMG I guess could be good, but from the start, you want to get those positions as fast as possible. So with an LMG, you're probably not going to get there as quick, and you might even get cut off by the enemy team. And the name of this game is basically, if you start out bad, you basically you're just working on momentum. If they cut you off in the beginning, especially if you have an LMG and you're running slow, they know exactly where you're going to spawn again. So you might not get a kill for another 4 deaths.
Right. I never thought of it. I never really thought of it that way. Are there now? You said you run a silencer. Do you notice a big difference, like if you're not showing up on the enemy's map using the silencer as you're shooting versus just running with dual mags or a sight or something like that may not give you that stealth advantage?
Right. Yeah, there is a tremendous difference. Like, because, I used to play without silencer because I thought, it's just a silencer, who cares? But it is a huge difference. I mean, it's crazy because you're still killing people, I guess spawn killing, if that's what you want to call it, because they know exactly where I'm at right now. But with my silencer, I still don't show up on the mini map, and it helps because as soon as somebody sees a red dot pop up on their mini map, the first thing that comes to their head is, how can I flank this guy? How can I take him out? And I don't ever pop up on the mini map, so I mean it's a huge advantage, and I love it.
Right. Now, what are some other specific assault rifles? I mean, with me, I feel comfortable using. I like the FAMAS, the AUG. I try to change my assault rifles up, but
Yeah.
in the end, there's probably some that I just feel more comfortable using. What are some other than the Galil that you are comfortable using and you like?
As far as me being comfortable using, probably just the FAMAS, honestly. But when it comes to Demolition, the most popular weapons I would say would be the AK-47, the Galil, 74U, all of the really popular weapons throughout the game anyways, but
Yeah, but they're popular for a reason. I mean, they're
right,
popular because they're good.
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Um, Are there any that you feel are somewhat overpowered in a game like this? I
Uh,
asked that's a loaded question because I basically already know the answer to this, but
oh
you
yeah,
know.
everybody knows this AK-74U. Everybody knows it. I mean, it is just it's just unstoppable. I don't know if it's like a one bullet kill or something, but I don't know, man. I have the hardest time come winning gunfights whenever the opposing team has a AK-74U.
Yeah. Like I
The
said,
hardest time
that was a loaded question. I already knew the answer to that, but I
yeah,
wanted to go ahead and ask it
for
anyway.
sure. Rhetorical question, Farley. Yeah.
Another thing too, Simtex and frag grenades. I noticed right here you're
Right.
using a Simtex versus a frag grenade. Is there any particular reason you like the Simtex over the frags?
Honestly, I use the Simtex in Modern Warfare 2 a lot. I thought it was really good. I'm not sure if the blast radius is a little bit higher or longer or whatever you want to call it, or maybe it's even more powerful. I don't know. But the Simtex for me, I like it, but I think it's for more of a skilled player, I guess, because you really have to be able to aim, where you're gonna throw it, because it can definitely get stuck on a wall next to you or something, and definitely catch you off guard. But for me, anyways, lately I've been using the frag just because I like, you can cook it and just kind of make it blow up in the enemy's face, and I really like that. But
Yeah, for
that
me, it's funny. I tend to gravitate towards the Simtex myself, and it's simply for the fact that when you toss it, you know where it's going to land and you know where it's going to blow up. With the frag, it's kind of hard for me to do the whole timing
right,
and tossing and making it sure that it rolls a certain distance to try to blow up your enemy. And
right.
so I tend to gravitate more towards the Simtex versus the frag. But I too have been using the frag a little more recently than I have in the past.
Yeah, I played all the Call of Duties basically, so for the frag anyways, I believe I'm more experienced with it, and it's just, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easier for me.
Right, right. Um, I was thinking this perk you're running. You said you're running. You've got Scavenger, Ninja, and Sleight of Hand. Um,
Right.
it, with something like this, you had mentioned that they were using a lot of noob tubes and explosives. Um, are there any other perks? I mean, I would think that if I was getting noob tube all the time, the first thing I would try to do is equip a class with flak jacket to help
Right,
combat
right.
that. Are there some other setups that you've kind of messed around with during demo that you found were fairly successful as well?
Actually, regrettably, I kind of find one thing, get really accustomed to it, and I just don't like to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But for Demolition, if I had to, give it a suggestion, I would say probably flak jacket, dual mags, something like that.
Yeah. Tactical mask. I mean, that seems like
Yeah,
you probably
yeah.
see people using the Nova gas on this.
Yeah, there's a couple people that like to use a Nova gas, especially if it's coming down to the last couple seconds. You're tied and you're trying to arm the bomb, and the enemy team will just throw some Nova gas right on the bomb, so nobody even has a chance
Right.
to,
So
to get on the bomb.
yeah.
That's definitely something you'll see.
Okay. Well, cool. Derbs, is there anything else you want to talk about a little bit on the game that maybe I haven't mentioned or questions I haven't asked?
I think that's about it. I mean, it's all in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding.
Well, you ended up with a pretty darn good game. You ended up
Yeah.
102 and 26 deaths,
Yep.
102 kills, 26 deaths. So not too shabby. I appreciate you
Yeah.
coming and kind of sharing a little bit about that.
Yeah. No problem, man.
All right, that's it. We are out. Thank you all for joining us. If you like that, feel free to rate, comment, or subscribe. Thank you guys. We're out.
All right. Peace.